The alarms didn't sound like polite office beeps that night. They screamed. A jagged siren tore through the 10th floor of Marrow Systems, and a red bar on the monitoring screen climbed like a thermometer left in boiling water. It inched closer to the top with every passing second, threatening to tip an entire company into blackout. If the servers crossed that line, it wouldn't be a slow day or a minor outage. Payroll, contracts, and years of customer data would vanish by morning. At just 12:17 a.m., the elevator doors slid open with a tired ding. Marina Holt pushed her rattling cleaning cart into the hallway. Her uniform smelled faintly of bleach. The carpet still showed faint vacuum lines, clean, straight tracks that ended abruptly where panic had scuffed them into chaos. Inside the glass conference room, 3 engineers hovered over screens. Coffee cups rattled on saucers. The projector fan whined like the room itself was overheating. At the head of the table stood Elliot Marrow, CEO, tie loosened, sleeves rolled, face hollowed out by blue monitor light. "How long until we lose control?" he asked. "Minutes," an engineer said, voice tight. Marina should have kept walking. She knew the rules of her life. Stay invisible, do your job, don't get noticed. But her eyes snagged on the whiteboard. Half erased, smudged, overworked, and near the bottom, a looping expression that made her stomach flip. She knew that pattern. Her fingers twitched toward her pocket, brushing the spine of her battered notebook. Math scribbled on old forms, one page bookmarked by a folded school permission slip. She tried to push her cart past the glass anyway. Then she saw the laptop on the desk outside the room, an admin console left open like a wound. A sticky note beside it read, "Do not touch prod." The red bar jumped again. Marina swallowed, and the old dread returned. The same dread she'd felt years ago, watching a different system buckle while powerful people stared at her like she was the cause. 3 weeks earlier, Marina's mornings started in a gas station bathroom on the edge of Westbridge, Texas. The fluorescent light above the mirror flickered like it couldn't decide if dawn deserved to be seen. Marina splashed water on her face. The mirror was scratched and cloudy, but it still did its job. It showed her how tired she looked. Behind her, her daughter Sky sat on the chipped counter, legs swinging. "Hold still, baby," Marina whispered, tugging a cheap dollar store comb through Sky's curls. The comb snagged and snapped, one tooth breaking clean off. "Sorry," Marina said, wincing. "I'll get a better one this week." Sky shrugged. "It still works." Her backpack sat nearby. One strap was held together with a silver safety pin. Marina's ID badge hung on a stained lanyard. It flipped backward again, her name pressed against her chest, like it was ashamed to face the world. She flipped it forward out of habit. "You're doing it again," Sky said. "Doing what?" "Biting your cheek," Sky replied. "You do that when you're thinking too hard." Marina forced her jaw to relax. "Grown-up habit," she said gently. "Don't copy it." Outside, their old Toyota space bus waited in the lot. The dashboard was cracked. The glove box rattled and never shut properly. Inside was a folded motel brochure advertising weekly rates in faded red letters. An escape plan she couldn't afford yet. Sky climbed into the back seat, pulled out her notebook, and whispered her spelling word. "Responsibility," she pronounced carefully. "Ms. Parker says adults have a lot of it." Marina smiled without showing her teeth. She's not wrong. At a stoplight, Marina's eyes drifted to the glove box and the motel brochure again. She looked away fast, like the paper could shame her. I told Maya you work in a big building, Sky said from the back. Marina's throat tightened. Did you? She asked if you were a teacher or a boss. Sky hesitated. I said you keep everything clean so bosses don't trip and break their necks. Marina snorted. That's not wrong. Sky leaned forward, voice dreamy. I said you work at night because you're on a secret schedule, like a superhero. Marina blinked hard. Yeah, she whispered. Something like that. She dropped Sky at school, hugged her too tight, and watched her disappear inside. Small backpack, safety pin flashing once in the morning sun. Only then did Marina sink back into the driver's seat and whisper the same line she'd been living on for months. Just one more week. There had been a time when people called her Dr. Holt. Back then, she didn't smell like bleach. She smelled like cold coffee, printer toner, and whiteboard marker ink. Her world was sharp lines and clean logic. She had been one committee vote away from a professorship in Austin. Her research was ambitious: a stability system for complex networks, traffic grids, power systems, communication pathways. Her models didn't just predict chaos. They nudged systems back into balance before human eyes could see danger coming. The project had a nickname: Helix. A government grant pulled Helix out of theory and into secure facilities. Soundless doors, restricted badges, NDAs, people in expensive suits who smiled with all their teeth. Helix worked beautifully in controlled tests. Then someone rushed it into a real deployment it wasn't built for. We can't run it at this level, Marina had warned. We need gradual scaling. A suit had smiled. The minister wants results tonight, Dr. Holt. We trust your system. They didn't trust her. They trusted what her system could do for their reputation. Helix was forced past its safe limits. It didn't fail the way people said it did. It was abused, pushed until its correction loops amplified disaster instead of damping it. Screens went red. Networks shuddered. And when power wants a scapegoat, it always finds one. Her name appeared in headlines next to words like collapse and oversight. The political pressure never made it into the official story. The override flags didn't either. The grant was pulled. Her lab access was revoked. Her offers disappeared. And her husband, Theo, who loved her future more than her, packed a bag. I didn't sign up for this, he snapped. They Google your name, Marina. You're radioactive. We, she whispered. You keep saying we. Theo looked away. I can't waste my life waiting for people to forgive you. He left with his suitcase, left her with debts and silence. They confiscated her servers, took her notes, locked her out of the building where her life's work lived. They couldn't take the math from her head, so they tried to make sure nobody wanted it. Years later, nobody at Marrow Systems knew the Helix story. They saw a woman in her 40s with tired eyes and a bleach-stained uniform. Night mop's here, a young analyst would call out when she stepped off the elevator. Sometimes they said professor like it was a joke. Marina didn't correct them. Correction required attention, and attention felt dangerous. She cleaned. She stayed small. She ate alone at 1 a.m. in the break room, cold fries and a bruised apple, reading her battered notebook with the folded school permission slip tucked inside. The security guard downstairs always said the same thing without looking up from his phone. Rough night? Always, Marina would answer, walking past. Elliot Marrow almost never saw her. Not really. But in the weeks leading up to the merger, he started working later, nights thick with calls, slide decks, one more meeting pressure. On those nights, He caught glimpses he hadn't noticed before. Marina pausing half a second too long at an engineering screen. Marina reading math in a break room like it was comfort food. Marina flipping her badge forward again and again like she couldn't stand the idea of her name hiding. He didn't know what it meant. He only knew she existed, the crisis built in stages, like a cough turning into a fever. By late evening, monitoring saw odd spikes. By 11 p.m., alerts turned amber. By midnight, the whole backbone was cycling, failing, retrying, failing again. Each retry piled pressure onto an already strained system. Engineers rushed back into the office, hair messy, eyes bloodshot. Consultants dialed in from other time zones. The CTO joined by speakerphone. "It's like the system is attacking itself," someone said. "Roll back to what?" someone else snapped. "We've been stacking patches for months." Time bled away. The red bar crawled upward. The elevator dinged. Marina stepped out and felt the air was different. Tight. Electric. Panicked. She kept her cart moving, pretending she didn't hear the words spilling out of the conference room. Payroll, contracts, merger, catastrophe. Then she saw the whiteboard, the loop expression, the open admin console outside the glass, the sticky note. "Do not touch prod." Her throat went dry. She could walk away, stay invisible, let the people with titles fix what they built. Or she could risk everything, job, anonymity, the fragile safety of being ignored, to stop the kind of collapse that had already ruined her once. Marina stepped forward. "Sir?" Marina's voice sounded too small, but it reached them. Engineers turned first, annoyed, confused. Elliot's eyes found her last. "What is it?" he asked. "I think your system is looping wrong," Marina said. An engineer laughed sharply. "Ma'am, this isn't—" "Give her a second." Elliot cut in. Marina pointed toward the dashboard. "Every time it fails, you retry immediately. No pause, no back off, you're stampeding. Like a microphone too close to a speaker." "You can't know that from out there," an engineer snapped. Marina almost retreated. Then Sky's spelling word echoed in her head. Responsibility. "I can see your retry counters," Marina said quietly. "They're climbing faster than your failure pool can drain. You're not recovering." Silence hit. Elliot opened the door. "Come in." Marina stepped into the room. Hands smelling like bleach, heart pounding like a warning drum. She approached the whiteboard. "May I?" she asked. Elliot handed her a marker. She drew it plainly. Failure, retry, failure, retry, arrows tightening like a noose. Then she drew breathing room. Delay, spacing, calm. "You don't need a refactor," she said. "You need one configuration change." She nodded toward the open console. "Your retry interval is set to 0, engineers protested. Elliot listened once, then looked at Marina. "How sure are you?" he asked. "Sure enough to let you fire me if I'm wrong," she said. Elliot sat at the laptop. "Value?" 2 seconds, Marina replied. "Start small, watch." She opened her phone timer. The cracked screen glowed. "On your count," Elliot said. 3, Marina whispered. 2, 1, apply. She hit start. 45 seconds. The red bar shuddered, jumped, threatened. "We made it worse," someone started. "Give it a second," Marina said, eyes locked. At 39 seconds, the bar stalled. At 32, it flattened. At 28, it began to fall. At 0, it slipped into amber, then green. The projector fan whined loudly in the quiet that followed. "It's stable," an engineer breathed. Elliot turned toward Marina, eyes sharp with disbelief. "Who are you?" he asked. Voice changed. I'm Marina, she said softly. I clean here. At night. That's your job, Elliot said. Not who you are. Marina's relief lasted one heartbeat. A smaller indicator in the corner flickered. Tiny spikes, rhythmic, deliberate. That's not right, Marina murmured. Elliot's jaw tightened. What do you mean? The load is lower, she said, thinking aloud. But something's still poking it. It shouldn't be retrying at all now. The room chilled. It means either your monitoring is lying, she said slowly, or someone wanted this to fail twice. Elliot's voice snapped into steel. Pull the audit logs, now. Then to Marina, a softer tone. Thank you. Go home. Rest. Home. Marina nodded without correcting him. Dawn found Marina in the Toyota, Sky asleep in the back, jacket tucked up like a blanket. Gas station mirror again, broken comb again, safety pin again. Mom, Sky whispered, you're shaking. Too much coffee, Marina lied. After drop-off, her phone buzzed. Unknown number. She answered. Ms. Holt? A woman asked. This is Danny from the executive office. Mr. Marrow wants to see you today. Marina's stomach dropped. If I did something wrong, you're not in trouble, Danny said gently. Lunch, in his office, not HR, him. Marina stared at her bleach-stained sleeves. Okay, she whispered. I'll be there. Marina nodded without correcting him. Elliot met her with warm fries and an uncomfortable kind of respect. He watched her eat like he was trying to understand what hunger looked like up close. Then he said, I watched the logs. Your fix wasn't luck. He asked where she'd learned to see patterns like that. And Marina told him, PhD, near professor, helix, government shutdown, public scapegoat, husband who stayed for the prospect and left for the inconvenience. Elliot listened without interrupting. I built this company thinking we were meritocratic, he admitted. Last night proved me wrong. He slid a folder across the desk. Marina opened it and froze. Director of Systems Stability. Benefits, salary, temporary housing support. Her breath caught. You can't just hand a director role to the night cleaner. I'm not giving you charity, Elliot said. You saved us. You're exactly who I want protecting our backbone. Then he added quickly, awkwardly, come to dinner tonight. With leadership. Working dinner. Not a date. Marina almost laughed. I don't have the right clothes, she said. Then we'll order in and eat here, Elliot replied. No dress code except not on fire. Marina stared at him for a long moment. Fine, she said. But I'm not sitting in the corner while they talk over me. I'm counting on it, Elliot said. The dinner wasn't fancy. Plastic containers. Fries too salty. People too tense. Marina told her side. Stampede logic. Feedback loops. Why an open console scared her more than the red bar. Then Elliot asked the question that mattered. Who set retry to 0? The infrahead hesitated. A senior manager, under merger pressure. He bypassed review. He's on leave pending investigation. So we almost burned down the company for better slide deck charts, a board member said flatly. Elliot didn't flinch. It's not just one bad setting, he said. It's a culture that thought a setting mattered more than a person. He looked around the table. This ends now, he said. He announced Marina's promotion in front of them. He made it undeniable. And for the first time in years, Marina watched powerful people sit quietly and accept that they had been wrong about her. 2 weeks later, Marina unlocked an apartment door. Beige carpet, plain walls, A working shower, 2 bedrooms. Sky stepped inside like she was crossing into a different life. "Mom," she whispered, awed. "There's a real bed." Sky bounced once, then turned, suddenly serious. "Does this mean we don't have to sleep in the car anymore?" Marina hugged her, voice breaking. "No cars," she whispered. "Just bedrooms." That night, Marina lay in her own bed and stared at the ceiling, hands smelling like soap instead of bleach, notebook beside a new company laptop with her name on it. For the first time in a long time, her mind couldn't find the panic loop to replay. At a company town hall weeks later, Elliot didn't make Marina a mascot. He made the lesson uncomfortable on purpose. "We had someone brilliant in our building," he said. "We didn't see her. She saved us. The lesson isn't miracles happen. The lesson is we should stop needing miracles from people we underestimate." He gestured to Marina. "She's proof talent doesn't care about job titles," he said. "And if we're smart, we won't either." Later, Marina walked past the conference room where she'd once gripped a marker with trembling hands. A printed sign had replaced the old sticky note. "Respect prod, respect people, ask questions before you change anything." Marina had insisted on the people line. That evening, she passed the security desk. "Rough night?" the guard asked automatically, then froze. "I mean, good night, Ms. Holt." Marina grinned. "Good night, Carl. Try not to fall asleep on camera." Outside, her Toyota still sat in the lot. It would take time to replace it, time to rebuild, time to heal. But now it was just a car, not a home. Marina checked her phone. A message from Sky. Ms. Parker asked what stability means. I said it's when things don't fall apart, even when they're tired. I told her my mom works on that now. Marina laughed, wiped her eyes, and started the engine. She drove home through the Texas night, thinking about loops, dangerous ones that repeated failure, and healthy ones that turned pain into wisdom. Once, powerful people tried to erase her work and her worth in one sweep. It hadn't worked. And sometimes, the biggest change didn't start with applause. It started with a woman walking into a glass conference room at 12:17 a.m., holding a cracked phone, counting down 45 seconds, and refusing to let everything burn.